Thanks for having me on. I obviously like what you're doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have written a check for it.
For sure, for sure. Well, that actually leads me to my very first question, which is I always, when I have investors on, love to ask them why they decided to invest in Maximus.
One of the things that was life-changing for me when I was about 26, I weighed 300 pounds, or at least I probably weighed 270 then, but I had weighed 300 pounds. I went to what today would be called a functional medicine doctor. There were not very many of these. And he said, I got your labs back, Dave. You have the testosterone levels, let's say they're lower than your mom's. I said, my mom did the same guy. So my testosterone was not good. And I had, lots of other stuff going on as well. But I've been on testosterone most of the time since I was 26. And it has been absolutely life-changing to have healthy levels. And having worked with hundreds of the top anti-aging doctors and worked with so many women and so many men, it seems like after 40, it starts to go down. And one of the fundamental anti-aging things that I've written about in my earlier books is, look, do you want the hormone levels of a young person or an old person? Because you go to the doctor when you're 50 or 60 and they go, oh, your hormones are just fine for a 60-year-old, because all 60-year-olds have crappy hormones. And you remember that movie Grumpy Old Men? It's really a documentary on testosterone deficiency. Like, that's how you act and feel when you don't have it. I had the benefit of that before I was 30, but it's also a pain to inject or rub cream on, and you got to make sure that the testosterone cream doesn't, get on sheets or get on kids or just stuff. So it's a pain. I've been doing it for 20 years. So the idea of saying, there's a way to optimize testosterone levels that's maybe way easier to do. To me, I like to invest in companies that are going to make life more powerful and better for people, not just make money, because ideally you do both. So this met all my criteria there.
Excellent. And yeah, thank you for sharing your personal story around that. I think that's, it's very, very powerful and compelling. And I think it makes a great point. We talk so much about menopause, obviously, for women, and don't talk enough about andropause, sort of the male relative equivalent of it. So I think, that's part of our job here, obviously, to educate more men that, testosterone levels can decline with age, typically about a rate of 1% per year. And so certainly as we get older, there's something that we should sort of test, monitor, and make sure that they're optimal. And unfortunately, we're also seeing this generational decline where even young men, particularly of this generation, have much lower testosterone levels than even their fathers and their grandfathers, which is quite worrisome as well. So for all of those reasons, I think it's helpful.
It is. And I see a lot of nutritional reasons for it. I see lifestyle reasons and stress reasons. And my very first book, going back to 2011, was on fertility. And when I talk about living to at least 180, which I've been really public about, I think that's actually something that people who are alive today are going to do, including me, unless the truck hits me or something.
Fingers crossed.
Exactly. At least if I'm getting hit by a truck, I hope it's a Cybertruck. Those are kind of cool. You have to pick one. But you look at all this and go, we're going to live a long time. So people say, is there going to be a population issue? No, there isn't, because human fertility is dropping at a precipitous rate. And a big part of this is men, right? And part of it is low testosterone. And there's all kinds of variables here, but we've got to get on top of that. And bottom line is, if you want to be in a position to do something meaningful to fix that problem or fix any of the environmental problems or nutritional problems that we've created, you have to have enough energy and you have to care. And what people think of when they hear testosterone, it's still 1970s bodybuilders. Oh, right. Roid rage and, injecting a bunch of weird chemicals. It's none of that stuff. Testosterone for men and women at different levels, obviously, it is the hormone of desire, but it's not desire in the bedroom only. It's a hormone of motivation. If you want to get your vibe back, I mean, tens of thousands of people over the years have shared their experiences of going on testosterone with me, just because of what I do with Bulletproof and all of the content that I make on my blog. And it's always about the mind.
Right.
And like, oh, I got my vibe back. And yeah, of course, maybe I got leaner, maybe I got more muscles, But it's about relationships. It's about, I went to work and man, I just nailed it. And things like that. And that's the soft stuff. And if you're 28 and you're like I was, and your testosterone's low, you don't know it. And maybe it's because you're eating tons of vegan, whatever, processed food.
Right.
Maybe you're getting too much omega-6 or you're getting hormone disruptors in the air you breathe, which is a big problem.
Absolutely.
Then you don't know that the reason that you're struggling and you're not showing anyone, it's I'm low on testosterone or I'm low on some other hormones. And then you want to hide it. And it's a little bit of a shameful thing because you think that it's a willpower issue. But testosterone is a driver of willpower. It wasn't that you didn't have enough willpower. You didn't have enough chemicals to drive the willpower so you can go do what you wanted to do anyway. So it's deeply frustrating to be in that, like, I know I've got more, but when I'm pushing the accelerator down, it's already on the floor and I can push harder, but I'm slowing down. And then you wake up in the morning, like, I just don't care that much. Like, I know I want to care, but I don't. Getting your testosterone back fixes that problem in a way that's very hard to put words to. That's why it matters. All the other abs and muscles and, bedroom stuff, those are side benefits from my perspective.
Yeah, and I fully agree with you. I think people, maybe it's because it's the easiest thing to see the increasingly lean muscle mass and decrease in body fat, which is obviously a great benefit in terms of body recomposition. But as a psychologist and psychiatry professor, I think the psychological benefits are underappreciated, right? So it's certainly in terms of energy, drive, motivation, confidence. Interestingly, there's even research showing TRT actually makes people friendlier. So it's actually completely counter to the sort of roid rage stereotype. There's a improvement in mood and relatability that comes with testosterone, which kind of makes sense. If your hormone levels are optimal, you're kind of feeling like a little bit of an alpha male. You have a genuine sense of confidence and security, and so it doesn't kind of act. That you don't need to act out as much. I think, in fact, some of the moodiness that you see from people is probably from low testosterone, unfortunately, these days.
But this is the idea of a product that works, that makes people feel better. And by the way, that's also part of why I invested in Maximus, because I think when people try what you've got, they're going to have similar effects where, like, oh my God, I got it back.